Well, hello everyone and welcome back to another video. The F122 Driver Crew Williams, episode number 11 today for the Austrian Grand Prix of Season 1. If you missed the previous episode uploaded on Friday, then you can go and check that out. And of course, subscribe channel and you see plenty more F122 Driver Crew videos. Slightly apologise for the delay for this week, slightly different schedule with the heat as well, so apologies about that. R&D wise though, we've got a couple of major upgrades coming in. One upgrade we are going to put is a minor weight reduction upgrade, which unfortunately we might have minor weight redistribution upgrade that we purchased last episode also failed. And then on the engine side of things, the energy stores, the minor ERS upgrade that we wanted for Austria has also failed, so we're still quite a way behind then on the R&D chart behind AlphaTauri now, as Aston Martin have moved ahead. Haas have jumped Alpine, although them McLaren and Alpine are very close as well. There's no change. Red Bull and Ferrari, move slightly ahead of Mercedes and Alfa Romeo, although Alfa Romeo are not really showing that kind of pace as well. But yes, of course, this is a sprint weekend, so limited amount of running means limited resource points gained and maximum amount of action. So I'm going to start with qualifying, of course, on the Friday as well. Overcast conditions here. Now, I'm not going to lie, this is probably one of the worst qualifyings I've had at Austria on any F1 game ever. I went out 3 times in qualifying, once at the start here, once in the middle, and then once at the end. Again, ERS unable to let me do back-to-back laps yet. That's what I am looking forward to getting back to doing. It's something that I like to do in qualifying at the start of the session, at least do back-to-back laps. But yes, I did 3 laps with the same setup, new different tyres, couldn't improve on this time as well. So really frustrating there that, you know, while everyone else was making seconds of improvement, I could somehow not improve on this lap time. But yes, coming into the final sector, one advantage, and pretty much the only advantage of this track now, is of course the A aren't doing supersonic speeds for the final 2 corners. The last sector is actually quite nice now on this year's game. That's why we've done a 106.3, which put us there P4, but you know, after everyone's been out twice, sometimes even 3 times, it's actually slowest of all as well. Bottas second slowest, and Zhou only 10th, so you know, Alfa Romeo aren't bringing that progress. So we'll see what we can do from last on the grid. Time for the second sprint at Austria.
Welcome to today's sprint. This is shaping up to be another fantastic weekend. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's sprint. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position. Sergio Perez lines up alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Verstappen, Russell, Carlos Sainz and Hamilton, Norris, Fernando Alonso, Ricciardo and Guan Yu Zhou, Magnussen, Mick Schumacher, Sebastian Vettel and Gasly, Albon, Tsunoda, Esteban Ocon and Lance Stroll, Bottas and Phoenix. And with preparations almost complete, let's head trackside for today's sprint.
So here we are for a sprint race, which is actually a sprint race, 6 laps of Austria as well. The sun might be coming out the second half of our 6 lap sprint. There's 5 red lights in for the sprint race Austria, and away we go. And it's a good, beautiful start on Bottas. But then, of course, he comes back in the second phase of the start, as they always do on this year's game. Right down the inside there, there's a front wing. There's front wing, excuse me, that's gone off. And Bottas, I don't know if he's gone off, and it looks like he's retired. We'll get a replay. Excuse me. He's gone into the back of Stroll, and Stroll's gone into the back of me, and then Bottas just gives up. So what happened to Stroll? He tries to go down the inside, and then breaks into the AlphaTauri, and then breaks into me. Fortunately, we escaped with no damage, but we are on at last place. So that brought out a virtual safety car, which came in the end of lap 1 as well. The Sainz is in the pit, so that's him starting down at the back. We're going to absolutely send it on Ocon there, but Ocon's just going to out-traction me absolutely ridiculously. So you see there's still debris left. The purpose of the safety car is to clear up the debris, EA and Codemasters. I'm going to dive down the inside of Sonoda up at turn 3 as well, but again out-traction by the AI. We're going to dive down the inside here again, turn 4. This time we are going to hold on to the position, move up to P15. Next up is our teammate Alex Albon as well. It's not done a lot, to be honest, as they're squabbling over ahead. I think there's an Alfa Romeo. I think that's Zhou. Oh my goodness! Just narrowly avoiding Gasly and Albon, caught up by Zhou. I think going slowly, and Vettel. We're going to have a look at Vettel round the outside. Lovely move. And there's contact with Alonso and Schumacher ahead. We're going to have DRS out of there. Not too much DRS to play with, but you know that there was millimeters between myself and Gasly and Albon, and it was a lovely textbook move right round the outside of Vettel out turn 1, and Vettel comes sitting duck for Gasly as we're on board with Schumacher at turn 4. He's trying to go around the outside of Alonso, who's just drove into him as well. So Schumacher's without a front wing. We're just going to we're trying to capitalise at turn 8 again. AI traction. We have to go defensives on Vettel, though we're going to make sure that we do get the move on Schumacher and move up to P10. So already this is good. This is actually a good start for us. Because you know we had that P9 at Spain as well, but you know, can we catch Alonso? We've seen the Alpine pace where it's if they can get away, which they have. So you know the Alpine is a lot faster car. Alonso just walks away in clean air. We were trying to defend from Sebastian Vettel. We moved up to P9 as I think one of the Mercedes cars has come into the pits. I think Hamilton has come into the pits. For a change of front wing with the simulation damage, as Vettel trying everything on the final lap, nothing doing for him. Leclerc has won the sprint to extend his championship lead over Verstappen as well, so that's bad news for Verstappen fans. I'm going to have to see how he does in the race, but through the final corner then, up to the line, and it will be P9 for the race tomorrow. So a very mixed up grid. You know, you've got the likes of Sainz and Hamilton, I think that is, down the order, and Bottas, you know, in the car that should be qualifying the top 10, way down at the order as well. And you've got the likes of myself and Vettel right up there, and P9, P10. Magnussen in 6th, you know, and McLaren's looking good as well. So Leclerc 45 points in front of Sainz now, 47 in front of Verstappen. So. With that then, it's time to see if we can get some points. Time for the race.
Welcome to the beautiful Styrian Mountains for another chapter in the story of the Austrian Grand Prix. It's one of the shortest laps on the calendar today then, with 7 rights and just 3 lefts making up the 10 corners of this high-speed circuit. Turn 2 is barely a corner at all. They'll be flat out through there, a left-hand kink into the uphill braking zone of turn 3. Turns 1, 3 and 4 are all potential opportunities to overtake. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Fantastic effort from Charles Leclerc yesterday, and it's put him on pole, edging out Sergio Perez, who lines up P2. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Verstappen, Russell, Lando Norris and Magnussen, Ricciardo, Fernando Alonso, Phoenix and Sebastian Vettel, Ocon, Gasly, Alex Albon and Sainz, Hamilton, Joe, Yuki Tsunoda and Mick Schumacher, Bottas and Lance Stroll brings the grid to a close. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track where preparations are underway. Anthony Davidson joins me once again in the commentary box, and it's fantastic to have you here with us today. But I'm curious, as a man with experience out on the track, how do you stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
Well, I imagine they'll be starting to feel the adrenaline as they anticipate the rundown into turn one, a bit like preparing to go into battle. The unknown situation will bring nerves, but that's a good thing. It will keep them focused on the moment and on their surroundings as we build towards the start of the Grand Prix.
Okay, now that we've got some good points on the board, let's continue this form and aim for another top 10 finish.
That's the plan of action, Mark. Top 10 finish. Race strategy is an interesting one. I did think about going for the medium to soft tyre strategy, which was they selected medium to hard for some reason. We're going to go soft to medium though. It's the faster strategy. You know, I think you have to be at least a couple of seconds faster with the medium tyre on the start. Magnussen ahead is going to be an early target. On Ocon as well is another person behind us. Start on the mediums. Hopefully you can hold a few of the faster cars behind us. So 5 red lights and away we go, and it's a good start on Alonso, but then business as usual. We're going to try and get him around the outside into turn one. Lovely little move. Magnussen has lost out to Ricciardo. Alonso's going to come back at me now with that traction. We're going to try and dive it down the inside of... Ooh, can we get down... that's Ricciardo there. Yes, we can. We're now going side by side with Magnussen down to turn 4. But a lovely little move there. As well, to dive down the inside of not one but 2 cars. Ricciardo's sort of fallen asleep with, I think that's Russell, Magnussen and Norris all squabbling over 4th place there. As well as now we're going to have a look at Magnussen at turn 4, dive down the inside, and there's no answer for Magnussen, who's going to start falling behind on those mediums as well. That's the other thing about starting on mediums. I feel like there needs to be a lot of people to start on the mediums. As Russell makes contact with Norris. Norris is going into the pits as well. He must have got damage on the start, which is why they were all going, or at that turn 3 rather, as well as saw earlier. So now we're watching Vettel going down the inside of Daniel Ricciardo in the much faster McLaren, and Vettel has done Ricciardo, as well as Magnussen now is falling way behind. I think Ricciardo's coming in as well. To the pits indeed is. So a bad day at the office of McLaren as Magnussen's gone wide. Almost collating Hamilton there, and Sainz is up at the front then. Leclerc has lost the lead off the start as well. So it's the 2 Red Bulls who lead as there's contact between them. Verstappen and Perez at turn 4, and Leclerc takes them both. Great move by the and that's why the virtual safety car is deployed, as Leclerc doesn't have a front wing left after being taken out by Perez and Verstappen there. So Leclerc is in. We're up to P3 in this race as well. So yes, virtual safety car is only deployed. Not full course safety car, unfortunately. I would like to get in the action, but then that would have helped the likes of Hamilton, Sainz, and also the recovering Leclerc now as well. We're also trying to use Ocon as the buffer there, as watching Sainz make a move right around the outside of Albon, who was up in P8, but Albon, that bit of contact surely must be front wing damage now, and he'll have to come in for a new front wing, as Vettel now is going to go past with DRS down to turn 4. We're going to absolutely dive bomb it at turn 4. I want to battle Vettel because I think we can beat him. We should have the car to beat him. He's only not that far away. Verstappen's coming in, we're coming in. Vettel's going to continue on and that probably means he's going to overcut us, unfortunately, with the cold tyre stuff on this year's game, unfortunately. The AI having perfectly warm tyres as they come out of the pits. It's an optimal turn-in as well. However, we can't get released because of Bottas coming in for his stop, and we've been jumped by Alonso as a result. So very frustrating stop, you know, and we've lost out to Sainz. You know, if we've managed to get in front out before Bottas, then, you know, we'd have been probably P7 right now as well, and we're going to lose time on the outlap with the cold tyres. We've lost out to both Norris and Russell, who made earlier stops, and we've also lost out to Leclerc there as well. And we've now got Sir Lewis Hamilton and the Mercedes all over the back of me. We're trying to defend like there's no tomorrow. For P9 this is, although there's a McLaren coming, and I think Leclerc is in as well for another front wing, as well as Hamilton goes past. We're going to dive bomb it again at turn 4 like there's no tomorrow. We've got nothing to lose now, you know. I'm slightly annoyed that we haven't been able to. Vettel's jumped Alonso, but Alonso's overtaking him on lap 10. Hamilton's going to go up to turn 10. I'm going to take the racing line, but Hamilton decides to barge his nose in when it's not wanted. There's contact with the wheel banging here. Slight damage to my front wing as well. So slight damage, not enough to warrant a replacement. I think. I mean, you saw it doesn't really make any difference really on this year's game of damage. We're watching Tsunoda versus Zhou. This is for P10, I think, behind Hamilton, I think that is, and Zhou is got in front of Tsunoda there as we're watching, and then obviously Bottas and is going to fight Zhou as Schumacher. Well, Tsunoda was coming in, and Schumacher, the classic AI, goes right into the back of Tsunoda coming into the pits, and that's going to bring out the full course safety car this time. So it's Verstappen leading Perez, pretty much as they were. Russell P3, can he get his first podium? But he's got Sainz in the much faster Ferrari now, bearing down the laps. We're going to have a 3-lap sprint. Can we get at least one of two of either Vettel or Alonso? I would definitely take a P5. I don't think we're going to get anything more than that. Sainz and Russell are too fast for that. We're definitely going to get Vettel though on the restart. Great restart, but then he starts to pull away with speed and out into turn 1, take the apex and up to P6. Now we're going to try and get past Fernando Alonso, but first replay this lovely little move for P6 down the inside and make sure that, you know, force Vettel out a bit, make him into, you know, take the racing line. It's going to be vulnerable to Hamilton. We can drop Hamilton now, and Vettel's going to come back at turn 5. We're able to keep the position and retain P6. Alonso not close. I'm not going to be honest. You know, the Alpine is a lot faster than either myself or Vettel can manage in our much slower cars. Is watching a huge battle for outside the points between Ocon, Gasly and Norris there, and Gasly is going to absolutely send it on both of them at turn 4. Slight contact with Norris, but what a move by the Frenchman and the AlphaTauri, as Sainz and Russell's podium chances of getting his first podium for Mercedes are over, as Sainz is going to send it down the inside. Russell tries to keep his foot in, but Sainz, as we move into the final sector, is able to get the position, as Leclerc now is the one that's chasing Bottas. This is for P9, so Leclerc's recovered after making a second stop. There's contact with Bottas, and Bottas retains P9. Leclerc P8 and 9, excuse me. As well as Vettel is all over the back of me on the final lap down to turn 4. We're going to keep it side by side. Easy defensive manoeuvre there, but will Vettel use the traction that he has after turn 4 down to turn 6? Yes, he will. He's on the inside. We're going to squeeze him to the inside here as we go through into turn 7 as an 8, and we're able to keep the position, retain P6 for now, and then we're going to deploy ERS on the run to turn 10. Vettel goes to the racing line. We're going to hit the apex first. And then through the final corner there, as Perez sets fastest lap, up to the line, and I will take P6 after qualifying last. It's a little bit disappointing after being on in the podium positions, but nevertheless, that's a good race weekend for us. We made the best of qualifying last, you know, and the people making mistakes, and we were consistent at least to gain P6 there. Leclerc as well only got 9th. There, Albon 13th. Sorry, Albon 13th overall, but in the race, way down the order, Hamilton made a second stop in the end. I think he had contact with Vettel. Albon made 3 stops in the end as well. So the Drivers' Championship looks a lot different between the sprint and the race, because Verstappen has closed the gap to 24 points to Leclerc. You know, if Verstappen keeps that momentum, then, you know, he can mount a title challenge. Sainz another 8 points back, in Drew drops to 3rd. Perez way behind now in 4th, Hamilton 5th, and Russell still 6th. We retain P12 ahead of Norris as well. The McLaren are looking mightier by the moment, and they're ahead of us in the championship. We might just have to settle for P8 in the constructors if McLaren start to walk away. I just want to show you how many front wings there were. I think you can count them for yourself. I think there was something like 21 or 22 front wings that were changed through this race. That is diabolical, to be honest. There should not be that many front wings being changed as well. And, you know, it's only light contact like there. That's how Norris got his front wing. This is Albon for his second, racing with Ocon on the, for some reason, on the hard. Just, you know, the AI, and then Albon with his 3rd front wing change there. You know, it's just the AI being stupid there. Hopefully that gets patched soon. Next episode, we will renegotiate our contract with Williams as well. That episode will be coming later in the week, either Thursday or Friday, depending on schedulings and so on. So yes, Verstappen, he's got the momentum. 2 wins on the trot. Can he make it 3 at the French Grand Prix? We'll have to wait and see. Perez is starting to get consistent as well. For us, yes, although we're starting to lose out to Norris in terms of points, although he didn't score in the last 3 races, he didn't actually finish for some reason. I think his engine blew up in the final lap. But the fact of the matter is that we got points today by being consistent. We definitely don't have the pace to be keeping it up. Neither does Vettel. Crucial points there for Aston Martin as well. We don't want him to start to be consistent either. So, yes. And on that note, I'm going to leave it there. If you have enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and you see plenty more F122 Driver Career videos as when they come out. Until the next video then, I'll see you next time. Take care. Thanks so much for watching. Enjoy your day, and goodbye.